Hello and welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to do a review on this Colourpop palette. This is the Kathleenlights and Colourpop The Zodiac palette. Excited to do this video because I've been waiting all year for Colourpop to release a palette that is more colorful. They have released a lot of neutral palettes and none that really interested me since the beginning of the year. So I was very excited when I saw the colors in this because it really does speak to me. And some people say that the color selection is a little bit random, but we'll get into that. I personally really enjoy the colors, so I did want to buy it. And I will say that I did also buy one of the cream Lux lipsticks from this collection in What's Your Sign, and I'm wearing it right now with no lip gloss or anything, and I'll just show you a swatch of that. It's basically a pinky nude. And I really wanted this because I love these Colourpop Lux lipsticks. Are probably some of my favorite lipsticks out there, and they're only $7. I think the quality is amazing. So this is my fourth one from this line of lipsticks and I love them all. Okay, so this palette, it is $18 and they said that it was an extra $2 because their other palettes are $16 because there is a mirror in it. And I'm okay with it being $18, but I do get a little nervous when affordable brands start to increase their prices, but I still don't think $18 is bad for 12 eyeshadows. And it is actually a really nice mirror, so that is nice. I do my makeup at my vanity, so it's not a huge thing for me if a palette has a mirror, but I did like that. And I think this packaging is beautiful. It's almost kind of like that rubberized feeling. And this color with the gold, or is it rose gold and navy blue, I think is beautiful, so I really like it. It definitely feels sturdier than some of their other packaging, so that is an improvement, I think. So in this palette there are 5 matte eyeshadows, but one of them is slightly satin, and then there's 7 shimmers and metallics. So first I'm going to talk about the colors and then I will give you my thoughts and everything on the review. I have had this for almost a week and I've worn it every day since then, and I've used all the colors on my eyes. So let me show you a close-up of the colors. Here they are. So the first color is the Aries, and that is an orange shimmer. And it is pretty metallic. I really like this one. It's a fine formula. There's not much fallout from it, and it's a gorgeous color. It almost looks like there's a hint of gold in it, but it's a beautiful orange shade. The next color is the Taurus, and it's a matte brown, but you know, it's a nice kind of blending out shade, and that's what's in my crease today. I really enjoy the matte formula, and it's very consistent in all of these colors. The next color is the Gemini, and that is a bronzy shade, and it almost looks like there's a bit greeny gold in it. It is beautiful, but this shade, the first time I wore it, did give me some trouble because I didn't wet it or use a glitter glue, and throughout the day I had shimmers all down my face. So that shadow definitely needs either a wet brush or a glitter glue. The next color is the Cancer. It's kind of a pink, pretty neutral shimmer. This one does not have that kind of, it's not as chunky as the Gemini. It's a much more fine formula. So that one I did not need to wet the brush or use a glitter glue. Then next up is the Leo, and that is a beautiful orangey gold. This one is a very similar formula to the Gemini, where it has, I don't want to say chunky, but slightly chunky, more shimmer formula, and that one I did need to wet my brush for, and it is so gorgeous and metallic. The next up is the Virgo. It's just a matte dark brown. Not the most exciting shade, but it's a fantastic formula and it works well. The next color is the Libra, and this is kind of a boring color, but I really like it. It is kind of a satin actually, and it's a pinky mauve color, Some of these don't look super flattering on me, but I love this one and I'm actually wearing it as a lid shade today. Okay, the next color is the Scorpio and it's a beautiful metallic burgundy purple. And this is a more finely milled. It doesn't really have that kind of chunkiness as the Gemini or the Leo. So that one is really nice. And then next up is the Sagittarius. That is a matte purple. Another amazing formula. And okay, then there's the Capricorn, which is a black with shimmer in it. To me, this is not a necessary color. I pretty much never use black eyeshadow. I did try this one out and the shimmers in it do look pretty. They do tend to fall on the face, so if you're gonna use it and you want that full black with the glitter effect, then you probably want to wet your brush or use a glitter glue with that one too. Then next up is the Aquarius, and that is a matte blue and it's really beautiful. I have this smudged on the lower lash line with a brown color and it's really nice. And then last up is the Pisces. Really beautiful color. This is one of the ones that really stood out to me and made me want to buy this palette. And I didn't realize it until I put it on eye, but this definitely has some even glitters, not just shimmers. This is the only one that, I guess this one has some glitters in it. This one does. You know, it's a beautiful kind of a teal, turquoise, light blue with shimmers and glitters in it. So yeah, that is the palette. And I think the color selection is very nice. I really enjoy palettes that are colorful, but also have some neutrals and they're not all neon colors, because right now I'm wearing a really boring look because I had to go somewhere, but normally I do like to do at least some color in my looks. But I'm not really like a neon colors person. So this is the perfect palette for me. I love some pops of color, but nothing too crazy. But it's very, very nice. You can do a lot of variety of looks with this, which is what I really like. Now the formula, I will say the mattes are very consistent and they're great. That's a classic Colourpop formula. I love the Colourpop eyeshadow formula, and I have said that Colourpop and Juvia's Place are probably my favorite eyeshadow formula out there. They're very different, but I like them both. And these mattes are wonderful. They are consistent, they work well, they blend very, very easily. They're slightly powdery, but they're not Anastasia level powdery, and I really like them. The shimmers in this palette, there's more variety. So the Aries, like I mentioned, is more of a metallic, smooth formula, whereas the Gemini, the Leo, and the Pisces, they're, I don't want to say chunky, but they're a little chunky. You definitely need to wet the brush. Takes a little bit more time to blend them out, but they're super metallic and beautiful looking once you get them on the eyes. I probably prefer the formula to the Cancer because that one is like the Aries, where it's very smooth, and you can even kind of see it in the pan, and I'm sure you can see it in the swatches, that there's just, it just looks very smooth and there's not big pieces in it. So I do prefer that formula, but I can work with the other colors and I don't mind wetting my brush, but on the daily, I probably don't have time to do that because I'm in a rush, but if I have to, it's okay. So yeah. So I think if you like the color selection in this palette, and if you like the Colourpop formula, which I already knew that I did, I knew that I wanted to get this palette. If you want a palette where it's totally no fuss, you don't want to have to wet your brush, you don't want to use glitter glue for any of the shades, then this may not be the palette for you, as some of the shades are a little harder to work with in my opinion. But overall, I do think it is a really good palette and I do like it. I do just want to mention the Dream Street palette, which is the other palette that Kathleenlights worked on. And this is probably one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I love the color selection in here. And I do think that they upgraded the packaging. This feels slightly kind of cheaper. This is more sturdy and heavier, which could be also because of the mirror. The shades in this palette are very different. So if you already have this and you're wondering, do you need this? Well, I don't think there's any similar shades, honestly. I mean, the closest maybe is this matte brown here in the Taurus, but the Taurus is way warmer. So actually, I don't really think that they're that similar. The only thing is that, so this shimmer here, this is one where you do need to wet your brush like a lot of the shimmers in the Zodiac palette. But these two up here, I love. These are such good quality eyeshadows. These are pure metallic formula. You do not need to wet your brush. You do not need to use a glitter glue, which I definitely prefer that formula to some of these, but FYI, it is a little bit different. But the mattes, you know, the quality is the same among the mattes. But I think the color selection is definitely different enough that if you have this, you know, you don't need this. And she did say that they would complement each other. And I mean, I think they do. You definitely could do really good looks with both of these palettes, even if you combine them. And another thing that I didn't mention is that the eyeshadow names are actually on this palette, unlike the other Colourpop palettes where they're on the back. I mean, I don't care too much about the eyeshadow names. Honestly, I'm just here for the makeup, but it is an improvement. Okay, so final thoughts. I think $18 is a good price. The Colourpop pressed eyeshadows are amazing quality in my opinion, and it's $2 more than their other typical 12-pan palettes, but I think it's worth it to have the nicer packaging, and the mirror is nice, even though I guess I haven't even used it. I haven't even peeled this off, but that's okay. I think if you like Colourpop, you know you like their eyeshadows and these colors speak to you, I do think you will like this palette. The only negative, in my opinion, is that some of these shades, the ones that I mentioned, probably work better with wetting your brush or using a glitter glue. But the mattes are perfect, easy to blend, no problems there. Okay, so those are my final thoughts on this palette. Overall, I really like it. I'm glad that I got it. It's definitely an amazing palette for $18. So yeah, let me know what you think. Did you get this palette? What do you think of the Colourpop palettes? Do you have a favorite? And thank you for watching.